Okay, it is April 13th.
10th. I think it's the 10th.
April 13th, Rough N Rowdy. Charlotte, get ready, buy that. It's $15.99. It jumps to $19.99. That'll be the landing price for it. So April 13th. If you can't tell, I'm Noodle. I woke up Noodle, and it just showed. It is, what's the date? The 10th? 10. Tell Carabas to shut up back there, chime in. What? Chill out, Carabas. So the rundown is brought to you.
Like you've never gotten that wrong before.
I know. He acted like, what? What? Chill, dude.
Very unlike Dave to get the date wrong.
Well, what I'm saying. That you reacted like it was such a thing.
No, but I mean, because he was way off. Like, usually he's a day off. He's like a whole
3 days. 3 days is way off.
The other day he was a month off.
on your mind, too. I actually can stand up for you. You're worried about Bill Burr right now.
Like a week ago.
3 days is not that reaction where, like, what? Like, that never happened, Carabas.
He's just very cocky right now because the Yankees stink. So he's just back there just chirping.
Like, he's feeling himself. I let him. He's supposed to be in Chicago. I got him out of that. He does that. Whatever. He's ungrateful. He always has been. MVMT watches get 15% off and free shipping returns by going to mvmtwatches.com/rundown. Join the movement today. They look like they cost $500 to like $100. MVMT watches 15% off. All right. AC just got kicking. There was this fight at the Brewers game yesterday. 2 reporters got in it. They were both at the game as fans, which I find weird to begin with. One of the reporters is making fun of the other reporter's wife/girlfriend. That woman used to work with the other guy. Presumably, maybe then they hooked up. He's like, oh, I banged your wife or something like that. I'm just guessing here. Kayce, this actually didn't surprise me, and you come from the formal reporter world. What are you laughing at?
No, I don't know where you were going with that. Like you said, this doesn't surprise me, and then you said I worked in that world, so I'm curious.
It doesn't surprise me. I think that at news desks and shit, there's rampant jealousy and everyone's catfighting and hating each other. I wasn't saying you were involved in this type of.
I just didn't know where you were
fracas,
going.
if that's what you're gonna say.
I didn't know.
Does this story surprise you?
No, but I really wanted them to be working. Like when I first saw the headline, I was like, it'd been so much funnier if they had their little cameras down there, and then all of a sudden something broke out and they started beating the shit out of each other. But I think that the fun angle is that they might have hooked up with each other. That makes it a little bit different. It's not just like jealousy.
Happened, right?
Like I feel like this would be a much better story if they were working though.
I thought it was going to be like a turf thing. Like, like this is my shot. They're both cameramen setting up. This is like Anchorman. It's real life Anchorman.
Well, also, is it unusual? Would you go to games if you weren't I guess you had a little different. But I mean, I feel like most reporters are at so many games that you don't go to a game. It's going to your, you don't eat and shit at the same place. It's like, that's what you do.
You'd rather be at a bar. You'd rather be at a bar or at home.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I thought when I first read it, they had to have been working, but the fact that they were fans makes it even better. But I like your angle, hey, you're in my territory.
Yeah,
oh, by the way, I banged your girl.
Wife. Yeah.
That was mine.
He just said it.
No, it was the turf. It was mine. I was funny.
The turf thing was
it was
the hookup was.
It was better when I said it, so.
I just took the 2 and blended them.
NHL games, going to be on the Golf Channel. Now, I'm going to say something about NHL. We are abnormally heavy hockey. Our fans are hockey. The pro athletes who watch us hockey. Maybe it's because we're just white, middle-class people.
Yep.
Coley is, nodding aggressively. But it's also probably the location of where we started. We're Northeast, Midwest. Hockey cradles. We have
it's also the sense of humor though. The hockey guys get our humor.
That's because they have similar upbringings in a lot of respects, I think. But we don't even have an NFL show. We have 13 hockey shows now. So hockey's huge here. But this is a thing. This is a red flag for hockey. I mean, you're on the Golf Channel, your playoffs. That to me means you're basically not a mainstream sport.
Well, wasn't it Susan Sarandon that called a hockey game recently? That was already starting to go downhill. Now the Golf Channel, and I don't think that hockey fans and golf fans would probably like each other normally, right?
No, they do. Golf.
They do?
NHL guys are generally awesome golfers. That's a major Ryan Whitney shout out when he couldn't get any ice time for the last 15 years of his career. He just became a straight golfer. He golfed every day.
They just seem like very different types of fans to me.
Yeah, the fans, but I think there's a big crossover between golf and hockey, actually.
That was a ricochet shot, by the way.
To Whitney?
Yeah.
That's just a fact. He's a huge golfer.
That's not what you said. That's not how you presented that fact.
Well, Frankie Borelli told me that he was a healthy scratch, the name of their new show, that Ryan Whitney's like the king of the healthy scratch. He went 4 straight years in Edmonton as a healthy scratch. I don't know if that's true.
This is ugly. You hate to see this.
The end of his career is staggering. I think he played like 30 games the last 4 years of his career each
You
time.
hate to see this.
Yeah.
This is
And
just
I walked
piling
around
on
the
a
office.
Muppet.
I'm like, was Whitney like hurt the rest of his career? We're like, nah, I don't think so. But he's the mayor of Muppetville, so that all adds up.
Yeah, but listen, your league is a joke if you don't. If
You're
you can't
not a
have
hockey
major
guy. Are you from
Grew up
Texas?
in Texas. No, people
So,
don't care down
You're the
there.
only hockey guy on the panel here.
yeah, I'm a huge
But
playoff
like
hockey guy.
if the NFL was all of a sudden on the NBA,
It's a bad
it'd be
sign.
ridiculous.
Well, it's not even NBA. Golf is not even like that's a channel that people don't really watch
It's
either.
a fake sport on a fake sport.
Because the Golf Channel is not like actually, they are showing golf, but like all the golf is on NBC. Like the good golf.
Right.
Like you're not really watching golf. They do maybe before the 2 o'clock sometimes, but it's just a giant red flag. And listen, playoff hockey, we're going to hear how it's the best thing going, this, that. We have all these hockey people.
the puck.
If your playoff games are on Versus and on the Golf Channel, you're not a real sport.
It's a fact.
But everybody
Just
talks
keep
about how
it
like
on-
the Stanley Cup playoffs are the best postseason in sports. Why? Like, are
Well,
people not watching it?
that's,
I disagree with that, but a lot of people say that.
You know what NHL fans are, and I'm one of them. But we just talk louder, we stomp our feet louder, we make more noise, we hate everything that's not hockey, and it's like the vocal minority. That's what hockey fans. They chip chip chip.
I mean,
hockey.
the proof is ultimately in the
Hockey
pudding
tough.
when the ratings stink every time.
Yeah.
It's like the best thing going.
Sad,
and
but it is-
You're
it's-
going to get like
so
a
is it a major-
0.1
so-
on the Golf Channel. It's not that.
So is the Stanley Cup a major championship?
Yes.
Yeah, I would still say that, but
Well, the Stanley Cup finals aren't going to be on the Golf Channel. That would be a massive red flag. But it's still not good for the sport.
Playoffs, yeah, true. Joey Votto. So the foul ball roll is rolling into the crowd yesterday. Votto breaks out into a dead sprint at the end to stop a fan from getting it. I've always known Joey Votto as a bitch at the plate in terms of like underrated player because he's been in Cincinnati.
I got a problem with that. That's
know-
all anybody says about him.
But it's true.
I don't think it is. If everyone's always talking about how he's underrated and how he's like an MVP and how he's
he's
been the
not
best
underrated.
player since 2009, we're actually rating him pretty properly.
I
It's the same
think
thing with Adrian Beltre. They said the same thing about him. All we ever talk about is his underrated career. Like everyone knows he's a Hall of Famer now.
I think though the thing with Votto, I think Beltre is elevated because he had a 3,000 hit last year and everyone's paying attention to it. I think you got to be like you're a big baseball fan.
Yeah, you don't see that on like national headlines. Like when he does something
Right,
like this, you do.
all right.
But like on a
Yeah.
normal basis, you
Okay.
don't turn on
But
baseball
that's like
and
a
you see
baseball
Votto.
problem too. It's like the same thing with Trout. It's like they just don't market these guys. He's like one of the best players ever. But I guess you're right. Within the sport of baseball, I think we all know that. But I guess outside of it is not known.
But I didn't know all these antics. I
No.
watched the whole video. He's
Yeah.
hilarious. I
Yeah.
mean, he just
They're funny.
constantly fucks with the fans.
It's like super petty.
Yeah.
It's
Especially
great.
doing it to the Philly trash too.
Yeah,
That's a nice
very,
little-
very good. I
little
liked
kicker.
when the Reds fan, his own fan, like stole the foul ball from him. He just grabbed his red shirt, looked at it. He's like, "You're a Reds fan." He like swiped his. I'm now in on
It
Votto.
doesn't laugh or smile or anything. Makes it
Yeah,
even
he's in
better.
character
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah,
time.
it's great.
Tommy John, 20% off your first order. Go to TommyJohn.com/rundown. Unparalleled comfort, best pair guaranteed. If you don't love it, it's on them. I think my dad's a big Tommy John guy. When he went through his whole underwear crisis.
Oh, right.
Yeah. 20% off your first pair, Tommy John.
They couldn't like get it out in time or something, right? That was his problem.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, he was having old man problems. I was actually watching this game like a degenerate because I had the over and the Clippers. Who are they playing? Pelicans. Because I thought the early games went under, so my math brain is like, oh, most of them went under early. Let's go over late. Did not work for me. I lost. I watched the whole game. Boban, he was just a monster. I've never watched Boban play before.
Oh, he's a pleasure.
He actually
He's
played
a massive
pretty
human.
good last night.
Yeah.
And at one point, he had the ball, just puts it straight over his head. He's standing next to Anthony Davis, and Davis is jumping, not maybe full, but jumping pretty high. and could not get the ball from Boban. That is how tall Boban is. Pretty amazing clip.
Did Anthony Davis jump and try to get it?
Yes.
Oh, he did? I thought he just stood there.
No, he
it
gave,
became
like, a
He gave
little
a hop.
jump.
He gave a hop. If he
Yeah.
really
Like if
jumped,
he really
he would
wanted
have
to
got
get
it.
the ball,
Yeah,
Anthony
yeah,
Davis would have
yeah.
gotten the ball.
But the fact that he's a legit 7-foot tall human who looks like a little clown next to Boban is
It's crazy.
it's gonna be sad. Never.
When he dies?
Yeah, Boban's not gonna live very long.
Sounds like a Francis blog.
It's just when you're that big and weird, I just feel like
He's not
It
that
just
big.
took a really dark.
he's not like one of those.
He's not Kenny George.
Yeah, he's not one of those like 10 feet tall Guinness guys, but
Side note, betting the over was frustrating because they weren't like trying at all. And they were like joking around, like that. There were a lot of those.
Yeah,
moments.
laughing and
like laughing, like
shenanigans.
let's
It's the end
just.
of the regular season. They don't
Yeah,
give a
that
shit.
was
like
kind of
I
bad bet, I
gave
think.
quite a shit. So it's like
Yeah.
I would have preferred them maybe tried.
It's all like September baseball right now.
Yeah, it's not great. Although the Pelicans needed to win to still get in the playoffs, but they were just up 30. So we got this video that I blogged, Old Row, put it up first. It's a fight at a bingo parlor in Shreveport, Louisiana. This dude, I mean, he may be like the baddest guy like alive. He's sitting there, his buddy, it looks like he's getting like 3 guys getting his face. One's starting to choke him. And the guy's just sitting there with his hand on his chin, like watching it. And then he just snaps and does some sort of move where he jumps, like propels over a table, cartwheels over a guy, gets the main guy who was choking his buddy, and then just beats the shit out of him.
This would happen in a bingo parlor, right? Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck could they be fighting about?
I don't know.
Bingo gets intense. I played bingo when we were in Minnesota at the bar. People don't fuck around with the bingo.
Like, what? Are they mad? Like, they called the wrong number or something?
Well, that is
Yeah.
a major problem.
Calling the wrong number?
When you say bingo and you go
You
up
don't
and
have
you
it?
don't have it.
Yes.
So that's what that probably
Well,
was?
Could have been. That's
Who
what it could have
knows?
stemmed from.
It's like choke-worthy?
We got to get this guy in Rough N Rowdy, like ASAP,
Yeah. Oh,
because
yeah.
he was throwing haymakers too. And speaking of Rough N Rowdy, Caleb just put out one of his finest pieces of work. So he went down and profiled Jess. Welcome to the jungle, Jessenia.
I
who will
love
be
her.
fighting
She
Friday
is.
night.
I love her.
She may be the main event.
I was gonna say I hate to, Thrilly is great, but Jess is gonna be the draw.
All right, guys, don't be shy. You know you love your sporty BBW. Always wanted to go and just. I'm your goddess, and you will bow to me. Show me why you're worthy to serve this big, voluptuous goddess.
I'm Jess, but my ring name is Welcome to the Jungle, Jess Jessenia, and I'm from Farmersville, Ohio. My goals are to either make it in pro wrestling or to be the first women's UFC heavyweight.
I wanted to wrestle in junior high school, but back in my day, girls weren't allowed. I haven't been able to find my first Golden Gloves and or amateur cage match because of my weight. So the goal is to either make it or die trying.
What makes me different as a fighter is because I'm coming from a background of sex worker, and a lot of people look down on that.
You love my big, milfy tits. Yes.
Yep. So
Holy shit.
She's huge. She's a cam girl. Who is that? Liz didn't know what that meant. That's what.
That
But
surprised
just
me.
gigantic and very self-aware and funny, and I'm like super
She can
interested
move.
to see her fight. Yep.
She can
The-
work the pole. She can work the ring.
Yeah, I'm about to
She's
say,
very
like,
talented.
the pole dancing skills that she has, like, that's incredible.
For that size,
Like-
for that weight, it's shocking.
People
This-
forget how hard that is, like, athletically.
She's a
Like,
specimen.
I mean,
I don't
it's
know that the
crazy.
people do forget or
People
even
do
know.
forget that.
I didn't know that was hard to do athletically.
Can you scale a pole like that?
Never tried.
Well, you should try.
Guarantee you I could.
You think you
with
could?
those shoulders.
I don't know.
10 years ago, I retired from athletic endeavors. What about the scene when she's just in the bathtub with the soap floating around her face? I mean, that was like, I laugh out loud. funny.
She's a showman too. Like
Yeah.
she's got the size and the skills, but she also knows that you need a little pizzazz on the mic.
Like the Baywatch, like where she's running down in
Yep.
slow motion, it's incredible.
Yep.
Like she's so self-aware and it's hilarious.
Do we have someone in her weight class to
Yes.
fight her? Okay, because I was going to say she's going to demolish
Yes.
a normal human.
Yeah, no, we got a big heavyweight girl
Can
fight.
there ever be a male-female in Rough N Rowdy? I feel like she could hold her own against the right
So
size.
Probably
what
not.
I've heard from Charlotte is
I would
it's
guess
state.
no.
Yeah, because
Probably
of
not.
strict rules. But wouldn't that
Well,
be great?
I
Put
feel
like
like-
Bob Fox in the ring with Jess.
I feel like West Virginia that you can get away with a lot
Yeah.
more. In Charlotte, where we're doing it, the commission's a lot
Legit,
stricter.
yeah.
So that'll play a factor. As a reminder, the fight is Friday night. First punch is around 7:30. It's me, Big Cat, Bill Burr will be announcing it. So
Is she right
that's
before the main event?
before the main event.
Like she's right before it.
She'll be close to it. She'll be
You
close
should make
to
sure
it.
she's right before it.
Okay.
Great lead in.
Thank you, Casey.
You're welcome.
You want
It's
to
a
run the show?
get in
You want to
here,
do
yeah.
it?
I'm just
You wanna
saying
be
it's
the
a good
showrunner this
suggestion.
Friday?
She's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I put her on the rundown. I'm aware.
You said she should be the main event. I'm just trying to help you out, Dave.
So again, price goes up to $19.99 on Friday, so buy it early. Should be a great event. We're leaving for Charlotte on Thursday. I think we're going to have a weigh-in 8 p.m. with Thrill Ride in the Bavarian Hungarian. So should be another big event, Rough N Rowdy 3. Anything else post-show beyond that?
Are you nervous to call it with Bill Burr?
No.
No?
I'm just going to have to restrain myself. I like to talk.
No.
So it's like there's only one ball, as they say in basketball, Coley, right?
It's true.
You got to distribute. I'm going to be a distributor.
You're gonna be Rondo.
Yes.
A lot of assists on Friday night.
Yep. Just set these people up to make funny jokes, and then just
And just don't take any of the
Team,
credit
team,
or the
team.
shine.
team.
Everyone will be talking about Bill.
Yep.
Not you.
I don't care. Just
Right.
buy the pay-per-view. Buy the pay-per-view.
And Jungle Justina. She's going to be a hot topic.
Yep.
Story. Oh man, can
the-
you just imagine Bill Burr's commentary when that woman's in the ring?
And he's
If
gonna
that's
be
not enough to make
Like,
you
you should
sign
mic
up.
her up. I know you can't, but that would even be great. Like,
He's-
she said she's going to die
Him and
trying
Gordon,
to
yeah.
be the best ever.
Yeah. Bill Burr is also on Barstool Radio today at
Oh, shit.
at 4:20.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's one of those inverted situations because by the time people watch this,
Yeah.
that'll happen.
Maybe
But
listen to
So
the
Bill Burr
podcast.
was great on the
yeah,
show.
if you could
Listen to the best
rewind
of.
time, he was on it.
Listen to the best of.
Okay. There we go. That's the rundown.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
He